What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you are here today. So today we are going to be talking about how I went from this to this. I have lost over 100 pounds over the last couple of years. I have been pushing a size 18-20 and now I am a size 10-12. And I just want to chat a little bit about my weight loss journey. I do want to share a little bit about myself before we jump into the weight loss. So I have never been a small girl by any means. I mean, when I was a kid, I've always been like bigger boned, as people would say. Also, my relationship with food has changed a lot throughout the years. My mom growing up, she did the best that she could. And what I mean by she did the best that she could, she tried to educate us with the knowledge that she had. So every generation, I feel like we're just trying to do better and do the best that we can for our kids. And honestly, I wish that someone would have told me, like, hey, you know what? Your body is meant to change and it's going to fluctuate up and down literally your whole life. At least that's the case for me. So I'll take you back to 5th grade. I was always, again, bigger boned, always active in some type of sport. And I remember that summer. I had just gone through a lot as a kid. There was some things going on at home with mom and dad, and I had turned to food for comfort. I went to middle school, which is hard for anybody. I had gained a significant amount of weight going into the 6th grade, and that's when people start to get a little bit more mean. And I did have comments from boys that came up to me and they would say, like, oh my gosh, what happened to you? Did you eat a kid? Wow, you're so fat now. Like, what happened to you? The reason why I'm telling you all of this is because naturally, in middle school, you start liking the opposite sex. You start liking boys and you're like, oh, he's cute, this and that. So you have these boys that are being mean to me. My relationship with food is already crazy. So now I never let them see that it affected me. I would just roll it off and be like, okay, you're dumb. But internally, I was like turning to food for comfort because my feelings were hurt. And now I'm feeling like I'm not worth it. I'm not good enough because I'm fat. And then you have Disney Channel showing us, this is when High School Musical was out, Hannah Montana was out. All of the main characters in Disney Channel, they were really thin. They were really small girls. And so when you're comparing yourself as a young, 12, 13-year-old girl to these other girls, you're feeling, oh my gosh, I'm so ugly. I need to be thin. Like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so big? So all of those things played a role in kind of my future. I have always had boys tell me that I was too fat. I know that word may seem harsh, but literally that's what they were saying. Because I had accepted this treatment and that's all I had heard for years, I felt like it was normal. Like, being my size wasn't normal. It was a bad thing. And honestly, in high school is when I got the most comments about my weight, which is insane to me, that people felt comfortable enough to tell me rude things. I mean, I remember when I got that first boyfriend, I had a family friend tell me, well, did he see your whole body? I'm concerned that he didn't see your whole body because essentially my thighs were just disgusting, okay, to them. And then I remember I had another family friend tell a close friend of mine, yeah, your waist may be small, but my aunt said that you need to work on your thighs and that if you worked on your thighs, your body might actually look good. I'm sorry, what? Like, who says that? Or even says it like in general to a 16-year-old girl? See, that relationship didn't work out. And the next man that I was with was Ruben, my now husband. He honestly helped me realize that beauty is more than just skin deep and that you are beautiful no matter what. And for that, I truly thank God for him every single day. I get like a little bit emotional when I talk about my husband, Ruben, because I just remember the emotional place that I was in as a young 16-year-old girl and how much compassion and love he had shown me, just reassuring me like I was a beautiful person inside and I was also a beautiful person on the outside. No matter my size, no matter my shape, no matter what the scale says, he was like, you're beautiful, you're a great person, and that's what counts. And I'm just so thankful that he came into my life. At that time, I was truly finding my identity in Jesus. I was learning that, guess what? Forget what all these magazines say, forget what Disney Channel is showing me, forget all these negative words that these boys ever spoke to me. I want to change. For me, I want to change my relationship with food because, again, remember I told you my food was a comfort for me. After high school, me and Ruben got our first apartment together. We were eating out a lot, like McDonald's, Burger King. I noticed one day, I'm like, man, my clothes are like tight, or some stuff just like did not fit. And it felt like it had happened overnight. And it didn't. It never happens overnight. It happens with time. And I just felt so defeated in that moment because I went from being like the slim thick to now I'm a size 18-20, where I was a size, 14 going to an 18-20. I mean, that's a big change. I remember being at my highest weight, which was about 280, 285 around my wedding. So I weighed almost 300 pounds. And I remember getting my wedding photos back and being absolutely mortified. About a year later after that, I did get pregnant with our daughter, August, and I was so happy. I enjoyed my pregnancy, like a very healthy pregnancy. After I had August, I was determined. I was like, you know what? I have a daughter. I need to show her like how to just exercise. I need to show her like it's okay to take care of our bodies. It's not, something that's vain. It's something to take care of ourselves because our health is important. I wanted to start eating better. And so I did. I remember Ruben got me an elliptical. He put it in the garage for me. I started packing all my meals for work and I had lost 20 pounds. I was feeling just better about myself, more confident. I was like, yes, I'm like being a healthier version of myself so I can be this great example for my daughter. And then literally August turned 6 months old and I was feeling like just very fatigued. And I remember laying on the ground after a workout and I was like, man, I'm just so exhausted. I don't have it in me. Like, why am I so tired? And I was like, dude, I think I'm pregnant. Here we go on this roller coaster again of a twin pregnancy. And at the end of my twin pregnancy, I believe it was 305 pounds or 310. So obviously I had gained some weight from my pregnancy. Sometime in the year 2020, I decided I am going to change. This is it. Like, this is my moment. I'm going to change for myself so that my kids have this example. And so I did. I started calorie counting. I did use MyFitnessPal. I know some people are like against calorie counting, but I'm telling you what personally worked for me. It made me feel like I was in control, like I was being accountable. For me personally, calorie counting is what worked the best. Not only that, I included calorie counting and also I'm gonna say this wrong, intermittent fasting. Fasting, you guys, that word is so hard for me to say. Anyways, I combined those two together. So with the fasting, I started eating around 11 a.m. or noon. So I would eat my lunch then, and then I would have like a snack, and then I would try to have some type of green smoothie. Dinner was pretty much whatever we were making here at home because that was a realistic thing that I could do. Whereas dinner time was just the same for everybody. I wasn't making separate meals for myself because, again, I was a busy mom of 3 kids working full time. I needed to make it realistic for our lifestyle. From 275 to 245. So I had lost 30 pounds in about a year with just doing calorie counting. And it wasn't like a very strict calorie counting. I just used the MyFitnessPal for a guide. Like I said, I did the fasting. So at this point in time, I went from a size like 18-20 to a size 16. That same year, 2021, I seen an influencer talking about this collagen product called Trim. And I genuinely was so curious. I'm like, you know what? I see the photos. I looked up some reviews on YouTube. And I was like, you know what? I haven't really seen any plus size women do it. I want to try it. Most people won't talk about taking like supplements and whatnot for weight loss, but It absolutely worked for me. I lost 20 pounds within, I think it was like 6 months, 45 pounds to 225 pounds. And now I was fitting like a size 14, 16. And at this point in time, I was feeling great. I was like, wow, like I haven't been a size 14 in forever. I was feeling super confident in my body. I felt just like healthier overall. I was trying to take like brisk walks on my lunch break at work. I would try in the evenings at home. Like my goal was at least 2 to 3 times in the evenings or in the mornings before the kids got up, and in the work to really get those pounds down. So I was doing the fasting, I was doing the calorie counting, I was doing the trim, and I was making sure I was going for those brisk walks at least 2 to 3 times a week. So then comes 2023 and I turned 30 in January. And I was, again, feeling really good, but I was like, I think I could lose a couple more pounds. I just want to shed these last, 30 pounds. Thinking, I'm like, man, Lord, I want to be this person that just like adds those healthier fats to my diet, or like, I want to do more organic things. Like, when will I ever get there? I want to be just this role model for my kids. So I was already trying to change my mindset around food because, again, my relationship wasn't the best. And so I was slowly educating myself through these years of, okay, what is a healthy fat? What does that look like? Like some people don't even know what a healthy fat is. And that's the thing. It's just you want to slowly build yourself up and take it one day at a time, because sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially if you're someone who had a bad relationship with food where you turned to it for comfort, or maybe your family, they have health issues and they never, were educated on food, but you're trying to change, again, your lifestyle and become the healthiest version of yourself. These last 7 months, I've lost an additional 30 pounds and I now weigh 195 pounds and I'm a size 10, 12. I feel like God does give us the desires of our hearts. It might not be in the way that you want it to be, but I was diagnosed with acid reflux back in February, and I actually made a video on that. I'll actually link it up above so that way you guys can check it out. With me being diagnosed with acid reflux and just everything that I went through, it truly, I feel like this was like the last straw or piece of the puzzle that I needed to finally take the final jump into really understanding nutrition a little bit more, and finally making that jump of like the healthy fats and things like that. How I was talking about, like, what does that look like? So with acid reflux, you have to do a massive diet change. Okay, I not only have acid reflux, but I have GERD and a hiatal hernia. Again, I explained more of that in my video that I did. My diet has completely changed, and I have cut out caffeine. Okay, that was really hard for me. Also have cut out a lot of processed sugar. Not only processed sugar, but I've also cut like added sugar, processed food, and saturated fats. Again, you don't realize how much you're eating out and how much you're consuming it in processed foods until you stop eating it. I'm not sitting here saying that I never eat McDonald's anymore, because we still like McDonald's, but it's more of a treat now. I've gotten away from using vegetable oils, so now I use avocado oil, olive oil, or coconut oil, as well as butter. I don't use like Country Crock anymore or margarine. I will use 100% grass-fed butter. Again, some small changes that I've made that I've seen such like a major difference in how I feel. Obviously you guys can tell, like, I've lost 30 pounds within the last 6 months from just doing those small, simple changes. Change your diet like I did. It is going to be hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? It is hard. Some days are still hard, but I tell you what, you are going to feel so good. You're gonna feel better about the choices that you're making. And one thing that I want to share with you is, when I was on this journey of starting to eat better, okay, sometimes I would feel like, well, the scale's not changing, so like, why do I even want to make this healthier version of this brownie? Just try it out. It's gonna taste different because your palate is so used to this already like refined sugar or these saturated fats. So when you try a healthier recipe, it's naturally not going to taste as like yummy as like the original, you know, sugary brownie mix. But the thing is that your body is gonna overall feel so much better. We as a society have gotten so used to eating like whatever we want. It's a free for all the time, when really it should be like in moderation. It truly should be. So next time you feel down, or next time you're just like, oh, I feel gross in my skin, stop. You need to think, what small change can I make today that is going to help me in years to come? Okay, that needs to be the goal. So you guys are probably wondering if I did work out during this whole 6 months, and the answer is no. I've taken brisk walks here and there, but I've really just been trying to focus on my eating habits. I eventually want to try to get into Pilates because I do have, your girl got some loose skin. Don't let that deter you from wanting to lose weight. I know that that's people's biggest thing, like, well, if I'm gonna get loose skin if I lose 100 pounds, and it's like, yeah, you might not. You might be like me and have the loose skin, and that's totally fine. I will tell you what, I feel so much better having a little bit more loose skin than what I did when I was 280, 300 pounds. I know this video was a little bit longer, and I thank you so much for watching. I hope that this just encourages you. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comment section. Make sure you follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. I love just posting over there and chatting with you guys. And I just love you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for just being a part of this community. I would love it if you subscribed, and until next time, guys, bye.